Oh my god, I'm obese.
This is one of the most brutal, realistic, and bold stories I've seen ever. Gameplay, on the other hand, well, this is a Plague Tale Requiem. Don't go away. Coming fresh off a Plague Tale Innocence, the first game in this series, a game that had a great story, flat end, and I would say average gameplay. And I'll say I am glad I played it recently and there wasn't like a big gap between playing a Plague Tale Innocence to a Plague Tale Requiem, because it is a direct continuation. This kind of feels like one large game. And the number one thing I was thinking coming into Requiem here was, well, the novelty of the rat plague is worn off. How is it going to capture me like the first game did? Because as unnerving as these rats still are, I mean, hey, I've seen these rats for like 15 hours already. Well, we can go in two directions to start this review: gameplay or story. Personally, I want to talk gameplay. And gameplay-wise here for Requiem, I think it's kind of tough. In the first game, Innocence, I noted that the gameplay loop here is extremely simple. You're just using light sources to traverse through rats. I feel like they did basically everything they possibly could to extract as much gameplay out of that simple concept. And here in Requiem, you're doing the exact same thing, except arguably with just as many concepts, because they actually took out the lamp, but they did add things such as tar. Throw tar at an already lit lamp and it'll basically have twice the AoE light effect.
He won't be enough.
How about now?
Yes.
Yeah, the gameplay here is, I would say, sadly, very similar to the first game. Similar enough that even in the upgrade tree, you have the exact same upgrades in some areas, like to a T.
These are quite literally word for word the exact same upgrades from the first game.
The one thing Requiem does really nicely that I think was by complete accident, like I don't even think this was like by design, was they introduced a crossbow. This can one-shot enemies, but of course resources and bolts are quite rare, so you can't just spam. But there is an upgrade: if you max out the bow, which was like the first thing I did, you can retrieve your bolts off of dead enemies. And if you just heard me correctly, that is code for infinite ammo. So about halfway through this game, I had infinite ammo. So at least for me, because the game style switched up from very stealthy to very aggressive midway through, the gameplay fatigue never hit me. Even though the stealth here is fun and clean, it is quite literally the exact same stealth that you would see out of like a 2002 GameCube game. Throw a rock over here and the enemy will say, huh, what was that? Yeah, the gameplay here in Requiem is just a vessel to drive the story points from point A to B to C to D and E and so on. And really, yeah, that's why you're here. The story.
I don't know, Hugo.
If I'm doing a direct comparison to the previous game, A Plague Tale Innocence, it took everything the story and characters did in the previous game and one-upped it everywhere, anywhere you look. And that's impressive, because other than the ending, I truly really liked Innocence's story. All characters return: Amicia, Hugo, the mom, Lucas, among new ones such as Sophia and my favorite, Arno, aka his nickname is The Wall. This guy is actually like one of my favorite characters in this game.
Focus on what matters to you. Because when it's gone...
This guy is such a good
Thank
character.
you.
And I won't spoil anything, but from beginning to end, this game has this uncanny feeling that you are never safe. For example, you start the game and everything is totally happy, everything's totally normal, but of course something goes wrong and Hugo has like the rat plague going on within him again.
Rat plague.
Seemingly nothing helps this kid, so you take the last-ditch effort of going to an island that he keeps dreaming about, and it takes a tremendous amount of effort, killing, and blood to get to this island, and once you get there, you get welcomed in so incredibly well that even though everything on paper says you're safe, your guards are up like crazy, and your guards will be up this entire game. And that's because A Plague Tale Requiem story is brutal. No such thing as plot armor in anything. No Disney magic, nothing here to save anyone.
You have so little faith. But you keep fucking.
Damn.
Anyone else? Fine. Let's begin.
The amount of times I'm watching things on my screen that I cannot spoil, just with my jaw on the floor, talking to myself like, wow, the writers really are bold in telling this story. And again, no spoilers, but here's my reaction to when the credits rolled.
What? No, that has got to be one of the wildest endings I've ever seen. I am shocked. No. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah, in my opinion, the story for A Plague Tale Requiem is very memorable. And a story, of course, is built off of mostly its characters. And while I do want to transition into the presentation side of this review and discuss this game visually, auditorily, let's talk about Amicia, and specifically her voice acting. Just right here off the top of my head, some of the greatest voice acting I've seen in video games. Akechi, Persona 5. Elizabeth from Bioshock Infinite. Aegis from Persona 3 Reload. Among many, many more. And I have one more to add in that category. Amicia. Charlotte McBurney voices Amicia here, and it is nothing short of one of the greatest performances of all time.
Is capable of. He will do much worse.
Hey, he's a child. This is not his fault. And the more you hurt him, the more rats are out there and the more people die.
This is why we need to take him away.
And I would say it's a huge reason why I think Amicia here is an amazing character. A roller coaster of emotions, a roller coaster of character growth and degrowth. Probably at least a dozen times I noted how fantastic her voice work was. There was a moment that I really remember in this game when you find like one of the secret things you can find. It's just a small collectible moment. Usually you just grab it, she says something, she walks off. But at this point in the story, I mean, her character has gone through so much. I mean, Amicia literally lives one of the worst lives I've ever seen in a video game. And you go to grab this thing and it's like, you don't even grab it. She just collapses to the ground crying. And it's like, it's like so weird. I don't know. I don't know how to describe this feeling where you go to grab a collectible you've grabbed a billion times, and it's like, no, the character's like, I gotta take a break. It's like, holy shit.
What a mess. I can't. Oh, please. Please. How am I going to do this? Please. I can't. Help me. Lord.
The rest of the voice acting is clean. I don't know why, but this guy's voice is so smooth.
My brother needs your help, and the rats are already there.
Control your flame, Protector. Others are burned in it.
Why is this guy sounding
back.
so cool?
Let's go see that
Oh,
carrier.
shit.
Music has its moments, but I will say it is more memorable in the first game. You do have those little pop-ins here in Requiem, but I think there was like more memorable moments in the first game. And of course, A Plague Tale Requiem, Asobo Studio, has their own in-house engine running these games. It's why it looks so fantastic. I love the rain in this game. The rain just looks so ridiculously good.
Worse and worse.
I know you're worried, but you should give Magister Vodon some time.
Time? To do what? Make Hugo feel even worse?
He's
Look at how
conducting
good the
tests.
rain looks
He
on the
knows what he's
fucking
doing.
surfaces.
He's the most competent in his domain.
Oh, enough of that. He's been treating my brother like an animal.
Overall impact for A Plague Tale Requiem. I really like this game, but it's a bit of a hard sell. Yeah, it's just a flat out hard game to recommend to people, specifically for its gameplay. I wouldn't be mad if people call this a walking simulator, and people do. Like, I read the reviews on Metacritic, seeing what people say good and seeing what people say bad. And the thing is that I agree with both of them. Yes, the gameplay is like 15 to 20 years dated, even though that gameplay is clean and it's not buggy, it works. It's just how much of that gameplay can you endure? And it really brings up to me the age-old question of, you have two questions, the red pill or the blue pill. Would you rather play the game with a 6 out of 10 story and characters, but a 10 out of 10 gameplay and everything else? Or would you rather play the game that has a 10 out of 10 story and characters, or 6 out of 10 gameplay and everything else? And to me, that question can always be answered by, well, how good is the gameplay or story in that scenario? You know, in games like Stellar Blade, where the story and characters can be rated as like a 6 out of 10, it's the fact that the gameplay and everything else and the music is just so unbelievably good. It overcasts everything else and turns Stellar Blade into an all-time classic game. A Plague Tale Requiem here has a really good story, but I don't think it overcasts its simplified gameplay here. So yeah, I liked this game. In fact, I kind of loved this game. Had a fantastic time with it. But I do agree with people who say that it is actually kind of dookie. Which, by the way, let me just mention this here before I forget. NPCs in this game, annoying. They got mega downgraded from the first game. Why are they in my way all the time? Why do they suck?
Get the stupid fucking NPC, man. Get out of my way. Get out of my world! What? My fucking companion sucks, man. I gotta do shit for you.
But anyways, let's wrap up this review. A Plague Tale Requiem for me is better than the first game in a sense. 8.5 out of 10. So that's it. A Plague Tale Requiem is down. And listen, I have my list out of games that I do absolutely want to play. Resonance is kind of in the middle. So if you, the person watching it, really wants me to play Resonance, I'll play it off release and I'll push something else to the side. But for now, A Plague Tale Resonance isn't really on the top of my mind to play this year, but we'll see. For now, I'm your host, Beneath the Mask. I hope you enjoyed this review. Peace out.
Everybody out!
Keep out of sight.
You and me. Now.
Oh my god, my Jesus. That's supposed to be stealthy.
I know you're here to find out the Easter egg soundtrack that I put in at the end of every video, but did you know that I have a Buy Me a Coffee page? A page where you can donate to your favorite YouTube creator. Half of the money that's donated to that page is personally donated back to Child's Play Charity, a charity that's dedicated to supplying games and technology to children in hospitals around the world. So that's that. Did you guess the soundtrack?